Yo, what up, guys? Beside here, this is a champion guide for a Sylvan Watchers faction champion called Criodan the Blue. He's helping a lot of endgame players in the Fire Knight hard mode and also helping beginner players like my Noob to Pro series, where he's currently helping me in every content. In this video, I want to show you how he works, how to build him in the early game or in the end game, and I'm going to be testing him out in some content and give you some general advice. The first thing you want to know about this champion is his champion skills. On his A1, what does this A1 do? He attacks each enemy. It attacks one enemy 3 times. Whenever we see an A1 that attacks 3 times, we always think about the Fire Knight, because that boss with the high shield needs a lot of hits to take down the shield. So whenever we see champion with multiple hits on an A1 or an A2 or something, we think that will be awesome for the Fire Knight. So he automatically makes him viable for that content. If it doesn't even have to be Fire Knight hard mode, it can also be Fire Knight normal mode for you to even use that champion there for his A1 skill. Each hit has a 25% chance of placing freeze debuff. Now that makes him a little bit different, right? So the freeze debuff on the A1 is useful in general content also. When you spend books on this skill, it will be a 35% chance on an A1 of pleasing the enemy is useful. Although freeze will reduce the damage the enemy takes, you will say yes, some bosses cannot be frozen, but the hard mode of the Fire Knight boss can be frozen and it will reduce the stun meter. That's why it's used most in that content. I'll not talk a lot about the Fire Knight because a lot of people already know him for that content. Let's try to come down and focus on newer players who are building this champion to help in dungeons or in arena and all that, or even being clan boss. Let's see his other skills that might be useful somewhere, because this A1 is look like a skill built for Fire Knight hard. Now on the A2, he attacks all enemies 2 times. Each hit has a 45% chance. Each hit, that's what I love about this, right? Each hit has a 45% chance, who can be booked up to a 65% chance of placing freeze. I know it's not a 100% chance of placing freeze, but 65% chance of placing freeze on each hit is a useful one, and you're going to freeze the enemies most of the time. Stun is the best way to control or make the enemies not take a turn, or when they take a turn, nothing really happens to you. But freeze can be used if you don't have stun, and sometimes some places freeze is even better than stun. Not a lot, but some places you might want to freeze them. But that's what he brings to your team right here. Freeze on this A2. AoE freeze is useful some way. So you will need accuracy on this champion to land this, and depending on the content you are trying to freeze also. All right, on the A3, you can see the logo of the boots. That means he wants to go fast. This champion will place increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also fills the turn meter of all allies by 15%. That's a turn meter boost and a speed increase. So this is like an apothecary, like a Lysandra. You know, there are many champions in Red who would have a similar skill like this. Like even a diabolist. So there are champions who already do this increased speed on the allies and turn meter boosting, but what he lacks, he doesn't decrease the turn meter of the enemies though. So but it's totally fine. This skill will make your allies take their turn faster than they are supposed to. Build turn meter of 15% is useful. Even if it's not 25%, 30%, it's extremely useful. All right, so this is the skill that most players would want to start the battle with, especially if his role in your team is to make you take your turn fast. So after you boost with your arbiter or whatever, he can go in and also boost. If you don't have an arbiter, this champion becomes your new arbiter that he's boosting first before your allies can go in there and start placing their decreased defense and their damage. All right, that's the skill that I'll be using the most in my Noob to Pro series, but for the wave content, it will also boost you along to get your skills around. Now the passive, this champion fills the turn meter of fills this champion's turn meter by 5% for each freeze debuff placed by this champion. If he freezes 4 enemies, he's gonna get to a 20% turn meter fill. That means he'll be able to use his skills again and again. He'll be able to come around to his skills very fast if he keeps freezing wave content. Now against bosses, it might be just a 5% turn meter fill, but for wave content, it's gonna be like 20% turn meter fill, 25% turn meter fill if you freeze all 5. Or 15% turn meter fill if you freeze only 3 of the enemies. You're gonna see this freeze a lot in battle, and it will happen. All right, so that's his skills. If you do not know already, he's from the Sylvan Watchers faction, and he also helped me take down this faction war a little bit when it came around. I've not beaten it at the highest level yet. I'm still getting to that level. One I beat at level 21 for that Sylvan Watchers. I'll put out the video. For now, I'm just giving you guides on this Sylvan Watchers faction one by one. until they are all done and show you how I built them. Now it's time for me to show you what this champion looks like for my account. If I scroll down, he's finally out of the vault and now helping me in a lot of content. For newer players who are coming into raid, you do not need this high amount of sets or whatever to put on this champion. You've seen what he does. Freeze, atometer, field. What does that mean? You need high speed on this champion, you need accuracy on this champion. Those are the only two criteria you need to make this champion work for your team. You don't need to build him a ton of damage. You don't need to make him a stone skin. You don't even need this relentless set on him that I put right here. I'll even go ahead and show you what the noob to pro is working with after this noob to pro run ends right here. I'll show you because that champion is actually on the noob to pro. So we can see a beginner where I built this champion 1 month into the game with enough accuracy and speed to do what he's supposed to do for my teams. I'll switch over to that content when it's ready. But for now, let me discuss my end game build. My end game build for this champion focused a lot more on Fire Knight hard. So for an early game build, you want to go triple perception set. Let's just talk about some sets that you most likely go with. You can always start with accuracy sets that you will see me using on the noob to pro series right here. You can't go wrong with this one for a newer player who are just coming in and you've been farming the campaign and you got some good accuracy sets, or the game gave it to you from Dragon. Put this on him. He needs that accuracy and he also needs that speed. So 1 accuracy set, 2 speed sets, however you can mix it. If you have an accuracy chest, is amazing, so you can get him his accuracy requirement and his speed at the same time. Now after accuracy and speed, the next thing we'll always go for is perception. Those are the best beginner sets. Remember, it's not all about sets. If you don't have good stats on your set, you can always go broken sets and use any gear on him. You doesn't have to match, right? So that's Criodan the Blue, amazing in perception set, so he goes fast. And he also places his freeze debuff and boosts his storm meter so he can do his skills all over and over again. All right, so what made me go perception? I mean, what made me go relentless sets? Let's talk about endgame builds now. Endgame builds, people can use anything. People can even use reflex set on him for the endgame build, so he can keep placing that freeze, so his skills doesn't go on cooldown. So endgame players know what they want. They don't even want to rely on my videos. But if you're interested in seeing how I built mine, I just wanted to put out this video to show you my total stats and why I'm using relentless. Main reason for using relentless is so you can turn around to his skill again and keep freezing the Fire Knight boss and keeping that turn meter of the boss down. That's the whole purpose of me going relentless. There is no other reason for relentless on this champion. Now that this run that I'm doing is done on the noob to pro, let me go a full screen and show you what that noob to pro is rocking with on this account for Criodan the Blue, because we need to even talk about it from that perspective. You see, I don't even have ascensions. I mean, yeah, his skills are not ascendant right now on this account, but check out, I'm using 1 set of perception, 1 set of accuracy, and a set that doesn't match at all. See, boots, and this one does not match. I don't need crit damage, I don't need damage from him, but I just got this. It had speed. The only reason why this is on him is because it had speed, and the only reason why this one is on him because this is my fastest boots on the account, so he needs to go first before my damage dealer, before my debuffer, boost them up so they can get their turns fast. So that's the reason why I'm putting this on him. It should have been another perception set, but this accuracy set has an accuracy main stat on it, so you see I don't even have a banner. So this is a good example of a beginner build that you can put on this champion, not focused on damage, focused only on accuracy and speed. This is a perfect example of a beginner build. Now that you've seen what you can put on this champion for this early game, let's go back to our end game and flex. Yes, I'm even using a what do you call this thing now? Accuracy chest over here. Why am I going accuracy chests? Because don't we have accuracy banner? Yes, we also do have accuracy banner. That's how much accuracy I have on this champion. Was this built for faction wars? Hell no. Faction war 200 accuracy and you're good. 200, 220, you're good. But for Fire Knight hard 10 that I'm building for, that's the amount of accuracy I needed, over 300. And yeah, that's why I have accuracy on the chest and accuracy on the banner. Now for the amulets, you want to go with whether you want HP. If the Fire Knight boss is hitting you, or if bosses are hitting you in general, you want HP and defense over here. You don't want attack. Why did I go attack right here? To get more accuracy over there on this amulet. And then for the ring, I went defense right here. For the glove, I went HP. So I'm trying to balance up his sustain, so that when the Fire Knight does take a turn, if he takes a turn, we will still be able to survive that hit. So that's why I went relentless. And yeah, the set is not matching. I just wanted to get extra turn on going and going and going. Total stats, you're looking at Criodan. My Criodan, I'm looking at 51k HP, defense that not even up to 3k, but 262 speed, which is good, and of course accuracy, which is also good. So those are the two things I was looking for: speed and accuracy. You can see my crit rate is not even focused, my crit damage is not focused, because if you can squeeze it in, go ahead. I don't know his multipliers or if he hits hard. I just know that I needed him to do turn meter boosting, I needed him to freeze, and I needed him to help my teams go fast. All right, now for my total stats on the Noob to Pro, did I show that? That would be more of like a joke, I know, but hey, we still need to show what total stats we have on that account, right? 173, which is perfect, because I'm currently beating Dragon 15 or Dragon 13 on that account. Every other content, Spider 10, he's helping me right here. In the arena, he's also helping me with my turn meter boosting. I don't have a apothecary right here. I don't have any champion boosting my speed beside this champion. All right, so that's why he's currently at that accuracy and at that speed of 170, which is reasonable at this level of the game. So I need to always contrast that with a newer player build, so you can see two ways to build him: early game where I just focus on accuracy and speed, and end game where I also focused on accuracy and speed. There is no difference. I should have made it a little bit more complicated, but the main difference right here is because he is going to be taking extra turns with relentless set. I think I've talked about the set a lot. Let me move on to something else, and the next thing is going to be his blessing. Being an epic champion, we always want to give them a blessing that is not already existing in the team. Cruelty, since it's against bosses, is one that is reasonable on him. Or if you're going to be boosting him to boost the team aura, if you don't have anybody rocking this commanding present already, those are the two sets that I would recommend for an epic champion like this, who is a support champion in more ways than one. All right, for masteries, I do not bother with masteries on this champion, because like I said, it's either going to be used for faction wars, and faction war champions in the end game usually don't need masteries. You're fine with your end game gear, can take them down. But if you're new to faction war, you're building this champion at level 50, you're bringing a bunch of level 50s into that faction war, you might need a little bit of the masteries, at least for the first level or the second level. But I'm still going to show you the masteries I will put on this champion if I was to build him with masteries. So I would never take him to the Mino to farm masteries. That's why I boldly brought this video to you without putting masteries on him, because he's not going to help me do better. He's already doing his job perfectly, which is that freeze. Now we have to always state that with a disclaimer that every champion performs even better with masteries, and he is one champion that can even perform better if you give him this fearsome presence. He increases the chances of placing a stun, a sleep, and a freeze. You see that is freeze that is currently a 65% chance on the A1, that is 35% chance. He will add an additional 5% chance of placing that freeze if you put this fearsome presence on him. So it depends on him whether you want to ignore his damage, because like I said, he is not known for damage, right? At least for the build I have him in. You want to either focus on this mastery right here, come all the way right here. Let me just give an example: defense, defense, defense down here. That's it. So you decide whether you want to go offense, but I will see most people going toward offense, because especially if you're a new player, you use this champion for faction wars, you use this champion for dragon, fire knight, ice golem, everywhere he'll be with your teams. Then it's not smart to go towards that defense tree at all. Now if you're gonna start using him everywhere, you are best going towards this normal way. We know where we build our champions who are used in dungeons and everywhere else. Accuracy, 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 we cannot go wrong with that. Since it's a champion that places increased speed on your allies, you need him to at least increase that speed a little bit. A chance of increasing the duration of that speed right here. That's lasting gift, has a 30% chance to extend the duration of any buff cast by this champion. Now there is one more masteries right here that you can choose if you're going to use him in the arena. go towards this life drinker. If you're not going to use him in the arena, he's going to use him elsewhere where you don't care about turn meter boosting and your champion's turn meters, right? Right here, this works also because it has a 30% chance of increasing the turn meter by 10% when a debuff cast by this champion is removed or expired. So this can even get him to get his turn faster. So those are the masteries I'll suggest on this champion. I think we can even put one more over here because of his using beginner sets like lifesteal, like speed, like accuracy set right here. But even for my noob to pro that I showed you, that beginner account, I don't think I'll get masteries on this champion. I don't think he needs it. But there are some times when he's helping you in the mino, right? He's one of the champions who will helping you farming the mino, but he naturally just get masteries, right? That might happen for the noob to pro because he's actually in our main mino team. But I'll not go ahead and make it all the way full. But he will benefit from masteries, don't get me wrong. I'll show you the two ways. Either go defense, get that extra chance to place that freeze if you're worried about the wave content, or if you want the freeze to happen more on the boss for Fire Knight hard. Right here, he's not contributing any damage, he might as well add more freeze chance to place the freeze. Or if you're going to use him in general content, go towards offense 3 War Master. You can never go wrong with that. All right, those are the masteries I recommend for this champion since I didn't build it on mine and I will never do so. I still had to bring you this champion guide because he's currently popular in Rachel Alliance as one of the champions that is helping you take down that Fire Knight hard boss and also that new, what do you call it, Sylvan Watchers faction. That's Criodan the Blue. We've talked about his content. It's time for us to put him into some battles and see how it actually works. All right, if I go over to Doom Tower, this beginner level, and just fight a battle. Remember, this is a champion that I want to use for the wave content. Once you see how it works in one battle, that's the same way it works everywhere. He has no special skill. If you are interested in watching how I built him for Fire Knight, we'll talk about it at the end of this video. But for now, let me show him off in one PvE content and then we'll go to PvP and see what he can also do in such a battle like that. Criodan the Blue, where are you? That's an amazing name that he also has. Why is it blue? All right, right here I want to use him as the default champion. You normally need somebody in the wave to control the enemies, right? So let me see how good he can control the enemies. With that high amount of accuracy, yes, he can freeze Doom Tower waves so you don't take too much damage, or any waves in general. You want to start the battle, like I said, with this increased speed and turn meter field. But since I already have somebody else in my team doing it, I'll probably go with this freeze because that's what I wanted to actually see happen. 4 out of 5. That's a good freeze right here. Remember, it hits twice. I told you it will happen a lot in battle. This freeze will happen a lot. So this is one thing that he do. So now you can just chill and go through the waves slowly but surely and feel your turn meter and kill them and all that. We're not here to see his damage, we're here to see what he's gonna do. Now let me see the next skill that he brings, which is this places increased speed and turn meter boosting 15%. That's it. So this skill does not hit. You see, one of his skill hits or two of his skill hit, the other one does not hit, so he'd not be doing a lot of damage. I'd love to see where somebody built him with crit rate or crit damage and see if his freeze actually hits hard. But nah, I guess we'll never see that someday. Maybe people do have the Savage set Criodan the Blue. Not recommended. I'll never recommend. All right, we've seen all what he does. That's basically what he brings to the team. Let me end it right here and go to the arena. Let's test him out in the arena. We want to see him help our team take down one enemy, at least one enemy. Let's refresh. And for a speed team, why not? This is what you want to go with, a speed team. But instead of Criodan the Blue, right, in this slot, what is his speed in my team? Do I remember his speed again? I can quickly check. He will probably be the champion now, right here, that becomes the speed booster. Did I scroll past him? I think I did. Criodan the Blue, recently used. Let me see. There you go. Total stats 262. So that's fast. Normally you need somebody like this for the arena to be at about 300, 290 to be in line with the arbiter. Hopefully they don't cut in though. So he's just gonna come here, boost us up a little bit after arbiter already boost us up, so my champion can take turn fast, I guess. Or we just die, I don't know. Let's see what it does. If you leave him on auto, he will start the battle. So that's his stun boosted. Enemy neutralized. Now it's time for him to go. I can freeze them, or I can even boost myself up further. I prefer to freeze them because I don't have any way of controlling that A1 that Thunder is about to hit me. So let's see the freeze. The Thunder did not get frozen, but everybody else get frozen. So that's a good one. That's a win. So I still get to boost myself up even more. My habitat is fast, and then nuke them down. Not decrease defense, because that's where a decrease defense champion might have been. So that's what it's there for. Go first teams. I'm not sure this champion will work for you in the arena and go second team. Do I want to show that from the noob to pro perspective also? Because I also have him in my arena team, because I have no choice on the noob to pro. If I switch over to that display, let's see, Criodan the Blue in battle. Although I'm currently in gold 1 in the noob to pro, and it's currently getting more difficult to find teams to beat. Let's see, arena. So refresh and find a team that is not so faster than me. I think they are not so fast. So this is the team right here. So he is the champion that is helping my Deacon make Kale take his turn finally. So let's go ahead and do this battle right here on the noob to pro from a beginner aspect perspective, and see that this champion is not just a PvP champion. I mean PvE champion for only freeze and turn meter boosting. He works the same way everywhere. You either freeze the enemy or you boost your turn meter up. So that's Deacon's turn meter boosts, Deacon's defense. And are we nuking already? Yes, we're nuking. Criodan, where is your turn? Well, everybody is faster than him because he is not currently ascended on this account. Do I want to boost again, or I want to freeze? I think this is the time to freeze now, because if they take a turn, they will kill my kill. So that's the freeze. I got it. I got it. So if that was not frozen, I would have gotten some beating right here on this battle. And win. I get to now go over again and use my skill. An amazing champion, I'm telling you, whether for beginner content or for endgame content, he will serve you. So that's what I wanted to show for you guys, how I use Criodan the Blue from the noob to pro beginner angle, how I built him with trash gear at that level, and how my endgame gear look and how I use him in that endgame. Now, like I said, I already have a dedicated video to show him in the Fire Knight castle, so I'm not going to show him in that run. If you want to see a dedicated video about how Criodan the Blue works in the Fire Knight, I'll pin the video, card the video right here, so you can go watch it after this one. Make sure you like and subscribe for more daily raid challenge content, and comment below which champion you want me to do a champion guide on, and I'll see it and do it for you later, guys.